Today on Studio G, we explore the underground cities of Las Vegas.
We also give you the lowdown on how to take care of yourself during allergy season.
I also get to sit down with Clinton Carter of the Denver Broncos. Your news starts right now.
Thank you for joining us today on Studio G. I'm Christy Zarpis.
And I'm Chelsea Bangle.
2 police officers were shot in front of the Ferguson Police Department this morning. The shooting happened during a protest that has been described as an ambush. The shots were fired just as a group of protesters were getting ready to break their hold in the wake of the resignation of the Ferguson police chief, who stepped down Wednesday. It has been reported that one officer was shot in the face while the other was shot in the shoulder. Both officers are expected to make a full recovery, however, their wounds may have a lasting impression.
Slipknot guitarist Mick Thomason has apparently been stabbed in the head by his own brother Andrew during a fight between the 2 siblings. Slipknot frontman Corey Taylor has tweeted on the situation. He wrote, "Mike update. From what I've heard, he's okay. We're sending him all your thoughts. Thank you for that." Police are not sure if they will be making any arrests in the case. The stabbing appeared to be done for the sport. The police have stated that neither individual was very cooperative.
Did you know that there's an underground city of people beneath the Strip? Reporter Dina Banning takes us deep into the tunnel system under Las Vegas.
Las Vegas is known for timeless shows, the best clubs in the country, and gaming. But just beneath those bright lights, darkness swallows the lives of hundreds of travelers and locals. The flood channels under the city are home to between 300 and 500 homeless residents at a time. The author of the book Beneath the Neon, Matt O'Brien, takes me deep into the trenches of these chilling stories.
All of them have their own little population, or most of them do, their own culture, their own artwork, their own, etiquette to a certain sense. So this is just like one small picture of, what's going on all over the valley here in these tunnels.
Now, when you think of the tunnel system here in Las Vegas and you think of the Las Vegas Strip, you think of the tunnels being the size of the Las Vegas Strip, which is only 4.2 miles long. But the intricate tunnel system is actually 300 miles long. That's 75 times the length of the Las Vegas Strip. Some people like Travis, afraid Metro will harass him if he's seen on camera, have been living in the tunnels for several years, unable to leave Las Vegas after one pull of a lever or after one hit of a car.
I moved out twice, and those 2 times I got on my feet, I got a good job, got a stable place to stay, but I ended up coming back here.
Originally from South Carolina, Travis's gambling addiction has been glued to Vegas, and he hasn't left for 13 years.
It is depressing because it's not really, a home.
But Travis is still aiming for his dream.
I wanted to own my own restaurant.
Do you like to cook?
Yes.
After spending countless hours in the tunnels, Matt became an advocate for the people living in them, starting his own community project, Shine a Light.
So I started Shine a Light as like a grassroots project to try to help the people down here, whether it's bringing them water, food, hooking them up with social workers so they can get housing and counseling.
Shine a Light has helped to house over 100 homeless people.
A lot of times we hear that the homeless don't want to be helped, that they want to be homeless, and I found that not to be the case.
This woman didn't want her family to see her living in the tunnels, so she asked not to be named, but agreed to go on camera.
What do you see for the future for yourself?
So right now it's hard to say. Being that my boyfriend just got sentenced to prison, I don't know, because we didn't expect this.
Lucky enough for many of these people, there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
I just needed time.
Do you think that time is what's going to get you out of the tunnel?
That plus, you know, effort, hard work and effort.
Thank you, Dina. It's crazy to think that all those people are living right under our feet.
To hear those stories, that's just heartbreaking, huh?
It really is. I didn't even realize you see the culture outside of Vegas, but there's a whole culture underneath our feet. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. One mistake, you know, it could just be anything. Brings you down to that point. Well, coming up after the break, I sit down with Quentin Carter of the Denver Broncos and discuss what he is doing for the Las Vegas community. Stay tuned.
Nearly 3,000 abused and neglected children live in foster care in Clark County because they cannot live safely at home. The CASA program is here to help these children live in safe, permanent homes. By volunteering with CASA, you can make a difference by becoming the voice for these children. Apply now at CASALasVegas.org.
I really like dance classes, Dad. And football's my second favorite. We take kids on hikes. We take them to the French Reserve. We take them on career exploration field trips. So they're going everywhere in our city and our community to see what is out there for them. What we want for the kids in our programs is the same you would want for your own kids.
To learn more about the program,
I used to have to do things, bad things, just to get by.
I was scared to come home sometimes. I didn't know where I lived.
Mom said she couldn't afford it, but I want to be a singer when I grow up. I like singing.
I'm not afraid anymore. My life has changed.
My dreams are coming true.
I realize now that my world is so much bigger.
Welcome back from the break. I'm here with former Denver Broncos safety, Quentin Carter. Quentin was born and raised in Las Vegas, and now he's taking a break to sit with us. Thank you so much for coming down today.
No problem. Thanks for having me on.
And how would you describe your journey from practicing and playing football here in Las Vegas and making it to the NFL?
I mean, I look at it as truly a blessing, of course. It's been a long journey, you know, full of ups and downs. From high school, I mean, really growing up, you know, from the little leagues to high school and college, you know, but I'm here now, and it's a huge blessing.
And when did you decide you wanted to become an NFL player?
When I really figured out that, like, I believe that I can be an NFL player, maybe I would say my freshman year in college, you know, just after going through high school and making it to a big school like Oklahoma and getting good feedback from older players there and support from the coaches and my family, you know, I started to really believe that I can do this for a living.
And talking about college, how was the transition from being a collegiate athlete to becoming on the pros?
I think it was pretty easy, I would say, compared to a lot of other schools. So I would give my college the credit because they pretty much train you for life and after football and NFL if you're blessed enough to make it to that level.
What was the hardest part getting to that point?
I would say for myself, just staying healthy injury-wise. You know, every single person, every player may have a different reason here or there, but I would say that's my biggest thing.
And what advice would you give athletes now that want to make it to the pros?
I would say, you know, don't wrap your whole life up around that, but, you know, of course, if it's one of your goals, focus on it and give it your all, your dedication, your focus. Really concentrate and give thought about, you know, the decisions you make in life and, you know, stick to your craft and work hard and be the hardest worker. All the stuff your coaches and your dad and all the people you don't like to hear those things from already tell you, stick to those things and believe in them.
I understand you do a lot for the community. What kind of projects have you been involved with?
I wouldn't say a lot, but, you know, my family and I, we've been doing a camp this year. Well, this coming up summer, we'll mark the 8th year of doing that out here in the Las Vegas community. Just a youth football camp. It's free from middle school ages, so about from age 10 to 13. And it's like a football camp / life skills camp. We do Mother's Day breakfast and dinners here and there, just a Mother's Appreciation breakfast here and there. Little things, and like I said, it's myself and my family, so I can't take full credit for that. I have a huge support system with my family, and they're giving people, so pretty much throughout the year, wherever we can fit in and give back to the community, we hop on it.
And back to your injury, you said the hardest part. What was the hardest part coming back from that?
Yeah, well, even right now, I'm battling a knee injury. I had surgery about maybe 6 weeks ago or something like that, 7 weeks ago, something like that. And, like I said, any hard time you go through is going to be a long journey. And I've been there before. And, it's just like keep your eyes forward. Really believe in that final goal, no matter what happens in between, and when I get there, it all makes sense.
And lastly, now before we go, you are a free agent currently. What's next for you?
What's next for me? I've been out here rehabbing for a few weeks, and I just plan to continue to work, be healthy, and once I'm healthy, go on and see what team fits best for me, see what team I can fit best on for them, and go from there. And hopefully, I'll go back to the Broncos, but if not, I'm blessed to be wherever I go.
Amazing. I wish you all the luck in everything you do.
Thank you.
Thank you so much again. I appreciate everything you've come and talked to us. Well, it's all the time we have for today. Now let's go back to Chrissy at the desk.
Thank you, Chelsea. An inspiring story out in Grand Junction, Colorado brings students and staff together to remember a student who passed away from cancer. 22-year-old Megan Mattingly lost her battle with lymphoma over a year ago, but that hasn't stopped the Colorado school from starting a hair drive. Megan's aunt, Miss Anderson, says she came up with the idea to help those who lose their hair during the cancer treating process.
See this for our family and to know that they're doing this for so many others that are fighting this horrible battle.
Told her about it a few days before she left us, and it brought a big smile to her face. So it's something that she would have been really happy to have happen.
Hairdressers from around the Colorado area also came to help with the drive. Over 30 ponytails were donated by both girls and boys, with each participant cutting off at least 8 inches of hair.
To give up your hair in any circumstance, and to see all these little children really freely and willingly, give that gift is really a special opportunity.
It's really important because some people are less fortunate than them, so they should try to help them be as much fortunate as you are. I want to help Miss Anderson's family, and I want to help other people who have kinds of cancer.
Cutting Hair for Cancer hopes to continue promoting hair drives to raise awareness about the disease and give back to the community. Coming up after the break, Monica fills you in on your national news.
Jazz and a Touch of Soul. The show consists of basically jazz and a little soul music, and pulling in a little chill music too. A lot of groups out of the UK. My style of music will help you open your mind more, open your ears to other sounds and other types of music. The name of the show is Jazz and a Touch of Soul. I'm Langston Carter, your host, every Saturday morning from 8 until 10 on rebelhd2.com.
The name of the show is Latin Nights with Hannah. The music is Latin themed, dancing music, like for a Friday night, like if you're going out, while you get ready, you dance to the music that it seems like. I would like them to have fun with the music that I play, feel connected to me even though that they don't know me, but that the music that I play for them is what they like and what they want to dance to. My name is Anna, and the name of my show is Latin Nights with Anna, and you can listen to me at therebelhd2.com.
Welcome back from the break. I'm Monica Medrano with your national news for the week. 11 members of the U.S. military are missing after an Army Black Hawk helicopter crashed Tuesday morning. Human remains were found among the debris along the Florida coast after the training exercise turned tragic. A spokesperson from the Eglin Air Force Base said that fog did play a factor in the crash.
Let me begin by adding my personal thoughts and prayers to those of the Secretary of Defense at the loss of the folks on that helicopter. A reminder to us that those who serve put themselves at risk both in training and in combat. And we will work with the services to ensure those survivors, or I should say their family members, will be well cared for.
This is the latest of multiple non-combat related crashes that happened earlier this year. Those crashes include a Marine Corps pilot who went down in western Nevada. Another unarmed teen has been shot by a police officer, this time in Madison. Protests continue against police brutality after the death of biracial 19-year-old Tony Robinson. Madison police received a call Friday night about an aggressive attack. Officer Matt Kenny responded to the dispatch after being assaulted by Robinson, shot him. Officer Kenny was placed on leave as the investigation continues. Protesters gathered in the Wisconsin state capitol and are seen chanting, "Hands up, don't shoot." A victim's relative commented on the problem of police policies and how they are carried out, specifically pertaining to young black men.
Fellow Madisonians, our hands are stained with the blood of my nephew, and we are all left to deal with the aftermath. He belongs now to everyone, and that's something that we've had to accept. He is now a champion of progress.
Madison Mayor Paul Soglin said that comparisons have been made to cities with similar tragedies. This news comes in tandem with the Ferguson police chief's announcement of resignation. Protests against racism stretch from Wisconsin all the way to Oklahoma. Earlier this week, we brought you the story of University of Oklahoma's SAE chapter shutting its doors after a racist video went viral. Since then, university students, including members of the school's football team, have gathered for protests even after apologies issued from the students involved. One of the apologies noted that the chant was in fact taught to them, but that was not an excuse. This investigation is still underway. That's all the national news for this week. Let's go back to Christy and Chelsea in the studio.
Thank you for the update, Monica.
Spring is here, and while we're enjoying the beautiful weather, this is the worst time of year for allergy sufferers. Reporter Amanda Massa tells us about possible remedies, including a new program right here at UNLV.
This is heating up even earlier than usual. With these unseasonably warm temperatures, trees are starting to bloom, making it a very early start to allergy season.
Our trees in the valley are growing larger and larger and producing more and more pollen, so every year we seem to have more and more problems with allergies.
UNLV and the Clark County School District are revising a program that tracks when and how much pollen is in the air. The goal of the program is to help those with allergies take preventative measures.
Good for me to know what is high out there so I can prepare myself with taking the allergy medicine or the nasal sprays early. So when I do step outside my home, I'm not having the runny nose and the watery eyes.
Pollen counts are collected atop Whitehall each day, while a control sample is collected in Jean once a week. The pollen is then put under a microscope to be analyzed. What they found is an unusually high count of mulberry.
With these increase in temperatures lately, we've actually seen the bloom come earlier than it usually does.
Dr. Joel Katz of the Allergy and Asthma Center says a lot of people seek treatment for regular sinus infections because the symptoms are so similar.
Stuffy runny nose, congestion, cough, shortness of breath and wheezing, which are asthma-like symptoms, and then skin rashes.
Katz says that skin testing is the best way to test for allergies. From there, relief can come in the form of antihistamines, nasal steroids, and asthma inhalers to shots tailor-made for you.
Make a strong solution, and then we dilute it down, and then we bring people in for a series of shots to desensitize them.
The allergen in the air right now is the pollen from the ash trees. Towards the end of March will come mulberry, and then the biggest culprit, the olive tree.
Olive is more potent as an allergen rather than so olive is more worse than mulberry is, but we're not seeing a lot of olive right now. It doesn't really bloom until later in the year or later in spring, usually around April or May.
Reporting for Studio G, I'm Mandy Massa.
The pollen counts from Whitehall are available online each day before noon on the American Academy of Allergy, Asthma, and Immunology website, as well as the website for the Clark County School District.
Wow, what an amazing program UNLV has, to help students out.
I know it's kind of useful because we don't want to be taking allergy medicine every day, so it's good to know the days that we really need to have our Benadryl in our bag so that we don't...
Ready to go,
yeah.
So we're not sneezing or coughing during a test.
Yeah, because no one wants to get sick or
be that person.
Or be that guy.
After the break, a fossil story, 2.8 million years in the making. You don't want to miss this.
Through our events, we promote that we are a national service fraternity. We do service to our campus, to our community, to our college, and to our nation as participating citizens. Our cardinal principles are leadership, friendship, and service, and that you can have a great time helping out your local community and your college. We are the Alpha Zeta Upsilon chapter of Alpha Phi Omega, a national code service fraternity.
My show is called Window on the Middle East, and it deals with all the issues that deal with the Middle East. Middle East is a very important part of the world. I grew up in America, and yet I'm from the Middle East. It's a commoner's viewpoint based on experience as well as scholarship. My name is Shervin Mashuri. I'm the host of the talk show Window on the Middle East at rebelhd2.com.
A recent discovery of 2.8 million-year-old fossilized jawbone is helping scientists fill a gap in the evolution of modern humans. Ezra Maha has the story.
The earliest evidence of our human genus, Homo, was found in Ethiopia by a team of Arizona State University scientists and students during field research in 2013. I sat down with Brian Villamore, a UNLV anthropologist who led the research team in Ethiopia.
The reason it's important is because it looks like much later fossils. So before 3 million years, human ancestors were very ape-like. So they had long arms, they lived in a forested environment, they're about the size of chimpanzees. And if you'd seen one, you would have said it looks like an ape. That, they live in the forest, ate fruit. After 2 million years, our ancestors were more like us. So they had larger brains, they were dependent on some tools, and also they were eating meat. Since 2002, we've been targeting this specific time frame because we knew that it was a critical point in human evolution. Before we're ape-like, after we're human-like, so something interesting and important must have happened during that time period.
After 13 years on and off searching for evidence, Brian Villamore shares with us the details about the day the jawbone was discovered.
One day we happened to be on this hill and there were a lot of mammalian fossils. When you find a lot of mammals, that gives you hope. There was an ASU grad student, actually an Ethiopian national, who was on one part of the hill, and we were all sort of around this hill looking for fossils. And I get a yell from one of my colleagues, Kay Reed, and she says, "Brian, come here." And then they found this. It was in two pieces. You can probably see the break right here. And these teeth were actually broken off, so we had to screen for those. But when we saw this, right away we knew it was fairly important, because it was clearly a human, and it had some of the features that we associate with Homo. It's safe to say that we were jumping up and down the side of the hill. Unfortunately, we don't have more, so, you know, we found this in 2013, so we were back this year, and we're going to be going back next year and probably many subsequent years to try to find more of this species. This one hill is particularly productive, so we have hope that we may find more.
For Studio G, this is Esther Malha.
It is still early days to say that educational productions will be out soon for kids to learn about the discovery in schools. However, anthropologist Willa Moore tells us that there are possibilities projects in the making right now.
Get ready to practice your blue steel because Derek Zoolander and Hansel make their return to the runway. This past Tuesday, the ridiculously good-looking male models, Derek Zoolander, played by Ben Stiller, and Hansel, played by Owen Wilson, announced Zoolander 2 by walking into the Valentino runway during Paris Fashion Week. Ben Stiller posted this photo on his Instagram saying, apparently Derek and Hansel have come together on terms on a hashtag, Zoolander2. Vogue ran a behind-the-scenes session of what to expect from Derek Zoolander.
But today I'm going to start left in honor of how the sun rotates. My people wanted me to start right, but I said, it's 2012, it's time for something different. They said, it's 2015. I said, agree to disagree, because it's one of those things you can never really tell, so...
Zoolander 2 plans to release in February 2016.
Wow, that looks like a good movie to come.
I'm definitely going to be practicing my blue steel. Are you guys ready?
Think you got down pretty well?
I don't know. Ben Stiller does a lot better than me. Let's just leave it up to the professionals.
I can't believe I've never seen the movie. I really need to go out and look at it.
Under a rock, ladies and gentlemen. Never seen Zoolander.
I guess so.
Well, thank you for watching today's show.
Be sure to tune in tomorrow for a live magazine show. Have a great day, Las Vegas.